Hey everyone, so every week on my stream, we're going to be going over your guys' deck lists and reviewing them depending on the meta and going over bit by bit what you can be doing better with the list, or the best parts of the list, the worst parts of the list, and pointing out spicy tech choices that may or may not be included in the list and all of that fun stuff. We're going to be doing this every week, every Friday, so make sure that you are there for that fun on Twitch and on YouTube. And with that being said, let's get right into it. All right, so we have EPA's branded Fiendsmith build, which is really cool, actually. It's actually something I've been kind of wanting to try out myself because my man Sam Zhang and Stellan, both two very good branded players that I've had Sam on the channel. EPA is having this Fiendsmith branded deck, and I saw them tinkering with something very similar. You're running actually the Branded Fusion, though. I've seen some builds without Branded Fusion. I do think Branded Fusion is important in this build. You still have to run the Branded Fusion because at the end of the day, sometimes you're not going to like resolve the Fiendsmith line. So you need just still a clean branded line, and you're running all the branded cards between like Albaz, Aluber, Quem, Cartesia. Literally just plus Fiendsmith cards. It's interesting to see. It's definitely because you can basically link off the Quertus by making it with Cartesia, because it is a light fiend. So that's kind of like the jankery there with Fiendsmith branded. So you basically like your opening line, you don't run brand or fusion deployment because like you don't want to get locked. You want to like summon Cartesia you want to like special summon Cartesia or normal summon Cartesia and then go Cartesia effect, not get impermed, and then link off for Quertus basically. So it's, and then Quertus, or link off Quertus into Requiem, and then Requiem effect, then either make Caesar or Engraver. Honestly, we should do it. We should feature this deck, honestly. I'd like to have one of them up, but buyless. Yo, happy New Year's, Yuri Diaz. What's up, dude? New Year's in 4 minutes for you? Oh my gosh, 2 minutes now. What's up, dude? Happy New Year's. Thanks for coming through. Just to see, not the buyless. I love Destin. It's like a second home for me. My family would go to Destin all the time. Yeah, no, this is a cool list. I think that there's a lot to this, but like my issue is you're kind of heavily relying on Branded red and white if you're not resolving Branded Fusion to like kind of do the rest of your combo, or else you're just playing like Branded. So like I would also have things like seals. Like you need seals in here. You need more bestials in my opinion. Like definitely run more bestials in my opinion. Maybe that's just me. We definitely have to cook this, and then you could like, you know, make seals, SP, Chaos Angel, Typhon, stuff like that. Very cool list though. Here's Scott Hub's Buster Blader Fusion deck. An update to his Buster Blader Fusion deck. We actually featured this, I believe, on the last stream. We have two of the Red Eyes Metal Dragon, which is now a surprisingly a like $12 card. And it's actually good and branded too. I got to feature a line in there myself with the Red Eyes Dark Metal Dragon with branded, because there's a way to search it out. Raul ended up showing me it, and I know that there's been a few other people who have showed it off on YouTube. I just like want to make some cool combos with it before I feature it. So yeah, no, this is a cool list. The Buster Blader cards plus the Bestial engine. I think the Bestials are so good in any deck that can like link, and you have links. So running the Druiswarm plus the 3 Lubellion and no regain, which I feel like is definitely, you need the regain. You need the regain. And everything else seems good. I think the Solemn Judgments are a very solid choice. You're running Bestials for the Fiendsmith matchups, and the Lancias for Malice, and Book of Clips for Ryzeal. So, and then 3 Sanctum's a bit wild, but you want to really cover the Malice matchup. It's probably not that great of a matchup. Alright, so we have Read Watches. Thank you for submitting your deck list, by the way, and Happy New Year. So, we do have Read Watches branded deck list that he submitted a while ago. Yeah, so this is Asamina 50 card branded with Allures and the Wanteds. I would just worry about losing to Droll. Also, main deck D-Barrier is cute, but I don't think you need it this format because Ryzeal Fiendsmith is so prevalent that like that it doesn't lose to D-Barrier. So you don't really need it in the main deck that much. And then, yeah, I mean, it's 50 card Asamina, which I think you can make work. I just, you know, the Allures I feel like might conflict a bit. But you are running 3 Witch. I just think there's like an issue with 3 Witch. Like, that's a lot. It is like a starter, but it doesn't get you to your branded engine, so you don't want to max out on it, in my opinion, and you could like have a more consistent deck by like cutting down on that and like the allures and have 45 with like the D barriers out. And then side deck is hand traps and a bunch of super poly is like fine. I'd just get rid of the hand traps and the side maybe. Like I think Ash is just like way better because of Mulcharmy and stuff like that. If anything, you're gonna like side like Impermash, Nib. And then Garura Mudragon's kind of wild. I'd just do the Garura. Inciting Guardian Chimera, I mean, I would take out the Brigand. You don't really need it. And also Alba, you don't really need it. Mahema, this is my list from the German Open. It's a really good... Okay, so this was the guy who who stayed up. I apologize, I didn't get to this sooner. It's my list from the German Open. It's really good. I don't know what to change. Maybe add second Guignol. I would like to hear what your guys' thoughts. Went 6-3 since I drew 6 board breakers, going second in game 3 twice and going first in another game 3. I drew double trap plus white, red the loss, and besides hands were absolutely nuts. So, yeah, no, this is a cool list at 47 from the German Open that you kind of bricked on. Double board breaker, yeah, I mean, there isn't too much you can do about that. I like the consistency at 47. 2 Lubellion's kind of interesting. I'm curious about that. I like the ad lib. I think that's fine. No side deck is interesting. But, yeah, no, it's a solid list. I'd say, like, overall, you know, 3 talents might not be the play. I don't like 3 talents personally. I think, like, running a quick play, you know, so you aren't, like, bricking on the talents. You know, if I had to guess, one of the board breakers were talents that you bricked on. And then also Tumor Courier, while it's nice, could be something you could cut on just to like, and also Tragedy and like Foolish for that reason. Go down and lower. I like the Sprint, it's interesting, but that's something I would personally cut for like other things. But like I mean, you run the Stapelia though, so like you're not running Boral though, so I'd like definitely cut something for Boral. I just think you need it. I like the Banishment, obviously. It's a good list. And congrats on coming so close. Next time you'll get it. Donuts, back, drunk, back. You're drunk, you're back, but you're drunk. Okay, hell yeah, dude. Yeah, no, I was gonna get alcohol, honestly, for the stream, but I was just like, that might not be the best thing for a Yu-Gi-Oh stream. I don't know if people do drunk Yu-Gi-Oh streams all the time or anything, or for New Year's. I don't even drink. That's the thing. Someone like a friend suggested that. So, yeah. Decklist. Cause this is my 50 card list. Cause with the 50 card coming through. I have to ask, like, because I feel like 45 and 50 card, there's like such a consistency difference. Like, I would just like always try to go like 45 this format, but like, because like I see the nadirs and I don't think like there's enough impulse to justify it in the main. I don't think there's enough shifter to say it's not bad. So I'd like side it maybe, you know? I mean, I see you're siding the nib, but the issue with nib is you have to have another hand trap to pair with it for it to be good. So I would just cut the nibs and then put in this nadirs there. And then like cut, you know, increase the consistency there, and everything else is looking pretty good. Bromian, Edison list, Monster Mash on the left, Dragon Turbo on the right. Oh, I love Edison. It's like the first Edison list that actually we are, I think, roasting for roasting deck lists. This Monster Mash is basically a deck in Edison where you have like 98% monsters, as the name probably suggests, because you run Gallus, this card that basically, like, I think like excavates until you like hit a monster, so you're like always just like specking a bunch of monsters. I think that's how it works. And Eleton also, just like, the Eleton's spicy though. I actually have like a name shifted Eleton that looks really cool that my man Sam gave me the heads up on. Also the side, these are crazy in the side. 3 Jinzo is also crazy. I guess you just like need more monsters, and then like a small zombie engine is kind of cool. I like that actually. So this is dragons. I mean, it's a dragon deck. I like the instant fusion. The instant fusion's kind of spicy. I don't think that's standard. Instant fusion's just a goated card. Also, I don't think it's at 1 in the format. So at 1 is kind of interesting, but you know, I don't really see anything else that you could really cut for it. It's a tight list. You're running a bunch of draw cards. You know, that's the whole point. You're supposed to turbo through the deck and get to future fusion and basically win the game and summon a bunch of monsters. And it's like the only deck in Edison that can actually summon Trident Dragon, which is really cool. So thanks for submitting that, Romian. It's a blue moon kind of thing, he said with no pun intended. Oh my gosh. I can't believe I just exposed myself like that. Happy New Year's and welcome back, Donuts, to Sonic Rage. Hell yeah. I feel like drunk Yu-Gi-Oh! Is Tenpai behavior, says Dylan Norris. That's the thing. I don't like see like people don't make like that's not something that really happens in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Sphere, like drunk Yu-Gi-Oh! Like that's something that you'll see in like other things, I think. ChatGPT is the go. I use it to write professional emails when I'm pissed at work, says Sonic Rage. That's a goated reason, Sonic Rage. I've used it before for like, you know, just helping me out with like rephrasing like titles for YouTube and stuff like that. It's very good. It's very good. Also just like helping rephrase just like some ideas. It's really good. It helps cut down time. I say this as a joke, but ChatGPT has helped me build some solid branded decks. Really? How? It really has? Remember, kids, if you're not sure how a card will affect consistency, just ask ChatGPT. Oh, it's because you can ask them, like, the probability. Oh, okay. So you can be like, ChatGPT, tell me, like, the probability of if I have these many cards in a 60-card deck. Yep. I get it. All right, so this is a branded deck with the Patchwork. I think we talked about this, like, where we might actually be running Patchwork. Patchwork is theoretically good right now because there's not a lot of Droll. The issue is there's a lot of Fiendsmith, and Fiendsmith, and if you remember from like when originally Fiendsmith came out, we found out through testing that like, you know, Patchwork was really bad. So like, unfortunately, I think that's gonna carry true too. So like, the more I think about it, like I was like more ambivalent to it earlier in the week, I think, but you know, the issue is, you know, DD Wave King Caesar or Desiree, you know, like these cards literally just say Patchwork no. You don't really want to be 1-for-1ing. You want to be 1-for-2ing. That's why I like cards like Ulti Slayers are so good right now. I mean, this is, you know, I don't like Sword. I think Stellar's good. I think Double Poly's not so good for the reasons I stated above. And then, yeah, I think the side deck's fine, too. I think Lightning Storm has always been bad in Branded, though, because you run Bestials. You're going to turn off your own Lightning Storm. What time zone are you in meta, says Dylan Norris? I'm in Eastern Standard Time, so I'm in New York. Oh, wow, I thought you lived somewhere in the EU. You traveling for the holidays, or no? Nah, I'm not traveling for the holidays. I'm going to Canada, though, next week for Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional, so, I don't know if that counts. Baby Otter Games with the goated Ryzeal list. You're seeing here first the METAGAMESGX first. His Ryzeal list. So his pure Ryzeal list. We have 3 Ash. I love Ryzeal, guys. No hate on Ryzeal. It's a safe space for Ryzeal. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Honestly, everyone's about to get so sick of that deck. Like I already see people getting sick of that deck. Unfortunately. But also, like, yeah, it just happens. You know, decks come and go, so it's gonna happen. I do think this is a list with a bunch of hand traps, Fuwalos plus the crossout, and then 2 triple tactics talents, and you are running the main deck crossout. Do you believe in the crossout? I see some people even opting to side crossout in pure Ryzeal. Also, Baby Otter, if you want to tell people why you like pure Ryzeal a little bit better, maybe, but it's a very good list. 2 desires, maybe not to, you don't want to draw desires off of desires. 2 talents. I think talents is actually like mandatory in pure Ryzeal, like because you're always guaranteed to get hand trap on the duo driver, so you're just chilling if you get, you know, if you have talents. And then we do have, I like the 3 Solemn 3 Strike. That's actually something I was like, if you saw my recent list, that's something I was on. It's something I actually think is really strong. I was main decking in pure 3 Strike, but I don't like main decking Strike. It's just such a going first card. However, I know a lot of people like it as a going second card in Ryzeal for some reason. I'm not. Yeah, no, I like this list a lot. I mean, is Zeus real? Do you ever go into Zeus? So yeah, I guess you have the Plasma Hole, but I feel like it's not real with Zeus. It's mainly a Typhon thing, or like playing through like D-Barrier or something like that. Like, I've been coming around to Pure, though, because I've been like, oh, Pure is actually kind of better than Ryzeal or Fiendsmith until you get D-Barriered. But you're still running the crossout. And then the last deck list of the year. or sorry, of the stream. Zay the Prophet. New Year, new Branded Asamina list. Happy New Year, folk. So 60 card Branded Asamina, folks. We love to see it. We love to see all the Branded Asamina ideas out there. Want to see people cooking. This is a grass Branded Asamina list. You'll love to see it with the Raz Disciple. No Shadalls. Interesting that you're running the Raz Disciple. Do you like Raz Disciple more than the other options? I'm kind of curious. I'm not sure if he's here anymore. Say the Prophet, but yeah. So yeah, we kind of took too long to roast Decklists. I apologize about that, but yeah, no. Board Breakers, Book of Eclipse, Super Poly. I do like those. I mean, a lot of people don't like Book of Eclipse. I think it's just still worth it for all the hand traps. It's mainly a going first tool, and it just cracks Ryzeal. It really does. Go like 2-for-1 on Ryzeal, so it's very good. Super Poly similarly just cracks through a lot of boards like Malice. You have to give her up a lot of advantage, however you are on 60 cards. So like in theory you have a lot of advantage. I would just take out the Nadirs and like put them like in allures. You just need something for like advantage tree, in my opinion. Maybe even Patchwork would be kind of interesting. Patchwork would be way too bricky. Never mind. It's cool. No High Spirits is interesting though. Do people really not like High Spirits in Asamina? 2 Deception, 2 Witch is interesting too. I don't know about those ratios, but... And then Siding Ash plus Lancia. You have the Veilers and the Imperms already. I kind of like that. I would just be maining Ash. I think Ash is like more high impact. Main Ash, like cut the Nadirs. I think you could cut the Nadirs for the Ashes personally. I mean, you just need a bit more consistency so you could like, you know, mess around with some more starters. I just don't think Nadir's the play. In the main deck, I'm not a big fan of Nadir right now. Pure Riz spot. It says Devin Reeves. Devin, I've been testing Pure Ryzeal. It's actually not bad. It's not bad until you get debarriered. I will say that. It's like, it feels the best deck until you get debarriered. So, yeah. So, yeah, no, this is this is GZ1K's Runic White Forest with a little Witchcrafter in it, and I like it. I actually like the Baguska. The Emerald seems a little overkill, but I mean, especially with the Runic stuff, it's like you're probably... I guess you need to recycle the White Forest stuff a little bit, but I don't know if there'd really be a better slot there. We also have GZ1Ks. GZ1K did actually end up roasting my own deck list. So I did ask you guys to roast my Master Duel deck list. So we do have GZ1K's dissertation on why my Master Duel deck sucks. All right, so let's start by GZ1K the 5th. First off, this is clearly not the best meta deck by any means. Oh yeah, so this is my Master Duel deck, guys. So it's basically 60 card with grass, and then it has Maxx plus Ash, because I like playing around Maxx. I also have breakers, such as Book of Eclipse and Droplet. I find those to be enough, and I'm running also double red and double Quem, so that my grind game is always perfect, with the grass especially. And some like Lad, and then Verte, and yeah, it's a really good list. I think Branded's cracked on Master Duel. First off, this is clearly not the best deck by any means. What is 3 Maxx.C doing for you? It won't help you break a board, and why play 3 Fallen of Albaz? I love the run-on sentence right there. All it does is fuse of an opponent's monster, and it asks for a discard for that. Absolutely worthless. Quem is horrible. All it does is dump 1 and summon back if you summon something from the extra deck, so it does nothing on its own. Spriggan's Kit is just a worse Aluber, and triple tactics cards require your opponent to do something for it to be usable. Otherwise, they're just a brick. Book of Eclipse just books monsters and give your opponent up to 12 draw on 1 card, so you're just giving them more advantage. Grass isn't even close to being worthy. It's only 5 cards with effects in graveyard, and only 1 which is being a starter. Well, that's like actually an argument some people make, but I'm just like, you capping. Because it's like you also dump like, you know, if I dump Puppet, that's like, that makes the grass worth it on its own. No point in running Verte when Brand Fusion locks you off links. Yep. That's why we use Verte. That's exactly why we use Verte. And Vice King locks you off special summoning monsters, so it never is worth seeing and best using as a discard. So you would still run the Vice King just as a discard though. Brand Fusion requires you to play a bunch of cards while locking out the most good extra cards such as SP and Typhon. You sound like a cultured Jesse Cotton watcher. Let me show you an example of a good branded list. And let's see the list of the good branded list. Alright guys, this is the good branded list according to GZ1K. I have been thoroughly roasted. His post suited, but I'm broke. Alright, fair enough. 10 whole pixels per card. That's crazy. This is a list. It has cards. It has near 0 win condition. So probably better than where Branded is going. Oh, it's pure Witchcrafter plus Cartesia. So I'm being a little harsh. But like, what is the prep doing with one target? One ritual target. Is that just like normal for Dark Magician decks, I guess? Or that is that just normal for the engine? Alright. Anyways, we are gonna go to the next list because that was stroke inducing. METAJP. METAJP in the chat with his branded deck list here. My brand deck list for the roast. Apologies for slightly lower quality. It's a screen capture from Nintendo Switch. You're fine. I'm glad we can help at least. Gotta do the grind one way or another. I've been playing Branded since it dropped on Master Duel and we're hunting Royals for it. Yo. Yeah, I see you already have quite a lot of Royals between your triple Royal Albazes. That's crazy. Glad I found your channel through a mutual branded passion. Much love and looking forward to the future streams. I appreciate you, JP. Thank you for the kind words. It's very wholesome. Win con is disrupt your opponent is crazy. No, I'm just saying everything's crazy now that GC1K does. I'm sorry. So I really like this list, METAJP. It's really good. Like it's pretty similar to my list outside the fact that you are running no Ash Blossoms. You're running the Maxi. I think that's you at least need to run the Maxi. I just think I'd probably run Ash. I just think Ash as a top deck is great this format, and it even gets better like once Malice comes out. So the 2 Lubellion seems a little, especially with no regained and no other. You have the Magnuma and Sarnier. I just don't think that's enough targets to justify 2 Lubellion. Excuse me. You're running the Grasslick screener. I'm happy to see that. You're running Super Poly, which is interesting. It's either Super Poly or Book. I just prefer Book because Book's good going first. Super Poly, you have to have 2 bodies on the board to use it as a dodge imperm kind of card going first. Droplet, 3 High Spirits, and then the Sword. How do you like the Sword and the double ret? I feel like that's a little bricky, but you're running the Grass. It just seems to me that would be a little bricky. Like I could literally, the moment I put 2 Retribution in my deck, I drew 2 and I never did it again. I like the extra deck. The extra deck's perfect. Just some additions to the main deck, but it's very good. Very good list, and thanks for the submission, METAJP. I'm very curious to hear from you. I'm glad you're still with us, how you like the double Retribution Sword, because it's something I do want to try out more, like possibly in the future because of the Grass, especially if Grass goes to 2, especially if Grass went to 2, I'm totally running 2 Retribution, I think, or like a Sword too. My man's playing Magician Soul and Illusion of Chaos, but not even 1 DM, lol. Yeah, can we explain that? Can we tease that one out, GZ1K? Can you like go explainer mode on that with the whiteboard? GZ1K, can we get a Witchcrafter masterclass? Like, we're gonna have you on for the 10K special. I'm gonna have you on stream, and we're gonna do a Witchcrafter masterclass. Like, I was actually thinking for the 10K subathon, like, I'm gonna do like something different each hour kind of thing, and have people on, and I'd actually be down to do that. That'd be funny. That'd be cool too. You'll be able to sell people the Witchcrafter spreadsheet. All right, so yeah. Also, we are going to be playing we are going to be playing Master Duel after this. Don't worry, guys. So this is a branded tier list from Guard of Wire, aka one of our newest Twitch subs. I really like this list off the bat. I've been like seeing a few tier branded lists, and it makes me want to run again. But you are also running Lad and Dragoon, plus Kit, plus Rule, plus the Kaleido Heart. So it's like, the concessions you've made in your extra deck must have been steep, but it looks like you've kept most things. To Albion, 1 Mirror Jade is fine. You do actually have an Alba Lenatus, no Boral. I'd personally run the Boral. I think Boral helps you bridge into the Stapelia, but you know you are still running 3 Shrouded, so I think it comes up enough. I mean, I'd personally run over the Dark Magician, but maybe you like the Dark Magician enough to run it, which is understandable. And I do like the branded Regained. I think Regained gets even better, and especially they build with Allura Darkness, especially, which I actually like Allura in a build with TEARLAMENTS because it helps you get them out of your frickin' hand. So outside of that, the main deck's actually pretty nice. I'd just say, like, consider how strong the Regained is, and consider going. I mean, how do you like the 2 Allure? Because I've been seeing some people run 2 Allure lately in branded. I'm like, That might be correct, because you never really want to draw 2 Allure. But still a good card. 2 books is disgusting me, but don't know how to fix it yet. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, maybe like try to cut 1 Thrust for a book. I know Thrust is a great card, but going first, it can really brick you. So if on a Master Duel, just like going to 2 seems fine to me. Also, the double Quem. I personally recommend double Quem. I know some people like, I think like double Quem, double Branded in red. I've come around on this again. I'm not gonna like lecture people and say this is better or this is not. I'm just saying like games are starting to become a lot more simplified at grind games instead of just like FTK boards. So like in that scenario, you're gonna want to have you know, something a little different along those lines. So no, it's nice. Had some good Destiny draws. Yes. So yeah, I love Allure. I want to go back to running Allure. I just like I hate drawing triple Allure, so like maybe the double is good, you know. In the end, it's a 60 card deck. Haven't gotten 2 Allures of the start. Yeah, that's totally fair. If you ran 3, I feel like that would be a higher propensity. I would also like, I would consider, I mean, I know Alba is very good for just like breaking boards sometimes. I feel like Alba is almost mandatory on Master Duel. I would just like consider how, you know, how much you value this tier engine, right? Because you have 4 tier cards in the main deck plus 3 in the extra deck. That's a huge commitment for better mills for sure. But like in my opinion, you could go like 1 Shiren, you know, 1 Shiren's fine that you can send off of the Branded Fusion and mill off of grass, you know. And then just like, I just don't think the tier cards really do it for me. I do think High Spirits for Rural Kalos into Stapelios is cool. I won't lie, that's cool. It is cool. All right. Thanks for submitting the deck Gardevoir when you don't know what to play, so you just play everything. I mean, that's fair. I would just say consider cutting the Dragoon, you know. I just think Lad, you will always make Lad over Dragoon. I don't want to say, like, I love Dragoon, guys. Trust me, I use Dragoon in my Nats 2023 list, which is like my favorite, like one of my favorite events I've ever been to. So like, I love Dragoon. I just want to be real on what's good or not. This is not like a personal thing to me. I know a lot of people have attachment to Dragoon because it, you know, it's Dragoon, but, and also like, you know, you gotta know where you're approaching it from. Like, do you want the absolute best or do you just want to have fun with your deck? Because Dragoon, you're gonna have a lot of fun with it. I think you'll have a lot of fun with Lad too. I really like it with fusion deployment, but yeah, I definitely see your points. I think that play got a lot worse when they released Promethean Princess though, because now they just like Promethean, you know, or SP, right? Like not even SP, but they will Promethean Princess your Dark Magician on summon. So like it never like actually ends up like being a useful thing to be able to fusion deployment out Dark Magician, because it used to be you used to be able to fusion deployment out Dark Magician and just attack over anything that was like stopping you, like a Fenrir or like a Majesty's Fiend. But now like with a lot of, I mean, fire decks are kind of weak right now on Master Duel if I'm being real, but I mean they aren't even weak, but they're just kind of mid. I like really like with fusion deployment. That's fair. I also think that tier Branded would be a lot better if there was like a 20 card extra deck. Like I just think that's like where a lot of the issues come from. And here we have Solo Ascension's list. Pick the Malice player at locals with this list. I'm running Instant Fusion instead of the Asamina, so I don't break his heart. Also, Millennium Eyes Restrict catches people off guard. Albaz the Ashen is also nice tech for Quem. Wouldn't you just want to send Albaz instead? You know, like I always want to send another Albaz off Quem. So like I'm not dogmatic a lot of the times on things with Branded, but I also think that like Albaz the Ashen is a bad card, so I will just keep at that. But besides that, the list looks really clean. Like two Shrouds like fine at 50. I won't hate on it. And 3 Shroud. I mean, I see the 3 High Spirits. I'd just run a third Shrouded over the Albaz the Ashen, personally speaking. And the Instant Fusion's cool. I just think it's like, you know, an unsearchable one of outside of Thrust. So, and you don't have a ton of draw power, so. Or like Prosperity to dig it, so I would cut it too. No lock either, just Lad plays. You'll love to see it. Side deck is good. I'd just say Nib is useless unless you run other hand traps. Like, I'd run Phantasme in that slot. Or Chaos Hunter. And then Evenly's could probably be Ultimate Slayer plus an Aggregator for Ryzeal. Also, I don't love Lightning Storm, but I think it's, like, fine. You just have to not Bestial. Alright, so this is, speaking of Dogmatica. Brand Despia Dogmatica by GK Onto 2. Guys, I sent you my 60 card branded Bestial deck profile. Any suggestions for a replacement of a card is appreciated. The issue is I don't know Dogmatica. I look at this list, I'm like, it looks... I would just say like 3 Golden Sword Soul seems a bit much. I'd say the main deck, Raigeki and Lightning Storm, seems a little much. I'd say the Monster Reborn is probably not the play either. Dramaturge is probably not good too without branded opening. You have 1 branded opening. I do like the extra deck, honestly. The extra deck's not bad. Starving Venom's interesting. I wouldn't run it personally without... Unless you can, like, fuse into it. I mean, you do have the poly, but it's like a random poly, right? You're running 1 King of the Swamp. I'd just rather run, like, a Patchwork engine instead. And I'm not too familiar with the other Dogmatica effects, but those are kind of the things I would... You'll work on the consistency while keeping the going second good, and then making sure that the end boards are really good. Not many people will Princess you, but I certainly would. Salad's low-key actually go to Master Duel. Yeah, dude. How does it feel, Magic Geek? Salad is back on top again for being the best fire deck. Like, I feel like y'all gave the keys to Snake Eye when they released. Y'all were like, y'all could have the keys to the car for a little bit, but we're gonna take these back when the time is right. And now, like, for sure, I'd rather play Salad than probably any fire deck in the TCG. Also, 3 of that trap seems a bit much. Here's Romian 60 card with Fuwalos and Maxi. Oh, you'll love to see it. That's actually the dream, right? Like, he's running the Fuwalos. It's my build, but he's running the Fuwalos over Book, and then he's running Super Poly over Droplet. So, and then he's running an Evenly over Imperm. And then, like, double Merc. I mean, I like it for that reason, you know? Nothing to hate on. Consider 1 branded in red. Wait, yeah, I was about to say, where's the brand red? Consider 2 branded in red. Good list, though. Cut the Mud Dragon, you don't need it. Unless you feel like you do. I won't be quick on that, but, like, also, I just don't think Mud Dragon's all that. Like, if you're summoning Mud Dragon branded, you're losing. Probably. Unless you have, like, a very good hand. Alright. Now we have the... Oh, no, we also have Enus's deck list that we have to go over. I hope Enus is still here. Alright, so we have Enus's deck list right here, which is a 40 card branded with triple tactics talents, no thrust, 3 dupe in the main, with 3 high spirits. I would say overall, I think it looks really strong. I like duplication a lot. I see why you're running dupe over thrust sometimes, because it's just like more live going first and like fine going second a lot of the time if you can break their board. I would just say you need like a pair of droplets or something. I would just be worried on the going second with this build a little bit, because like 1 Star in Ear isn't going to really solo any of these decks, and like you might be relying a bit too much on the Bestials for that. Outside of that, I really like the 40 card. It looks really clean. And also, I do like the innovations without any thrust. I do like the Ulti Slayer and the Fuwalos and the Lancey and the Chaos Hunters. I think Chaos Hunter... I don't know. I personally... I mean, you have the Fuwalos plus Lancea, which probably seems like... I mean, yeah, I think that's like what you need for Malice, unfortunately. And then you have enough board breakers for the Ryzeal matchup. And Extriac looks clean. You're just running Chimera over Chaos, which is fine. And you're also running a... Proskinion, which I'd maybe consider Ulti Slayer if you're, or sorry, Super Poly if you're doing that. I'm back, late shift. Yo, Lee Warrior, let's go, let's go. Thank you for your suggestions, no problem. Also, now we have Donut's deck list right here, which is his completely no ban list deck. He's doing a no ban list TEARLAMENT deck, and we're gonna do this on stream since Donuts, you know. He is also a Blazing Branded King, so channel membership level, so he gets a monthly duel with me on stream, and we will be doing a no ban list versus my best meta deck. So I could play Branded, I could play Ryzeal, Fiendsmith Ryzeal, maybe Mitsurigi Ryzeal, and we'll see how that goes. I think this deck is super strong. Like, look at this, 3 grass, 3 graceful, like 3 transaction rollback. Like, this, honestly, that's probably, this, like, all things considered, this is, like, if nothing was unbanned, this is probably what it would look like, right? You would want 6 cents. You would run 3 6 cents. Like, if you don't have 3 6 cents, I don't know what you're doing, but like 6 cents is literally just like a free mill 4. But also you're running 3 grass, so it's just like, I don't know. I'd just run the 6 cents. Or sorry, not the 6 cents. I would run Painful Choice, right? It's Painful Choice. Also, Delinquent Duo is just like a hand rip for 2. I don't know. I feel like I'd just like have to run that card. No banlist versus Witchcrafters. Witchcrafters solos. It's like the Gojo meme. I'd win. Accused bisected Madame Verde. Also, the target protection forced my opponent to get focused on getting rid of it. Honestly, I think Ashen is good for opponent's turn after I banish from Mirror Jade. The reason I ran it because of how well it ran versus with Super Volley during my opponent's turn. But like, how are you getting out on the board, Quem? Because you could do the same thing with Albaz, right? But I guess it's just another name, right? Yeah, that's okay. But like, wouldn't you want Bestial Luber then? Or maybe it's a little better than Bestial Luber, but you can't search it off of Bestial. I also like being able to search it or send it off a Saronir, though. I think that's pretty valuable. I suck, so you will probably beat me. Not true. This deck looks scary, man. Even if you go second. Also, where are the tier caches? I'd run tier caches in here. Tier cache is broken. Broken. Thanks for summing the list, guys. That was a very fun roasting deck list. Lots of branded decks.